Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Victoria, and for today's video, obviously judging by the title, it is a long-awaited makeup tutorial. This has been asked from literally everyone that I've ever met in my life, so here it is. This is mostly a drugstore focused makeup tutorial, if anything, because most of my makeup is drugstore. I do have 3 to 4 products that aren't, but I do provide alternatives for those high-end products, because again, like, makeup is so expensive nowadays. So this is the look. It's very everyday friendly. I do this look when I go to school, church, work, anywhere I need to go. This is my go-to. It takes me about 10 to 15 minutes to do, really depending on the day. And yeah, and you guys, if you guys haven't noticed, I do not have lashes on, but I do mention that I do use lashes usually, which are these ones, which again will be linked in the description. But without further ado, let's just get into this face. Let's get into this beat, okay? Okay, so now that we have a bare face, what you want to do first is to make sure your face is very much moisturized. Never put makeup on a dry skin. It would show underneath. So any moisturizer that you have, put that on. I strongly suggest you guys to also use sunscreen. That's also very good to put underneath. I just put my regular lotion with a little bit of Vaseline and sunscreen, pretty much, and that's your little skin base, because you do not want to put makeup on a dry base, because your makeup will look dry underneath. Like, it'll be noticeable, it'll look patchy. You want to make sure that you put your makeup on a nice glowy, you know, moisturized face, okay? And then you can move on putting on your products. So the first step is to prime. That's what I do, at least. I use 2 primers. First, starting off with the Maybelline Master Prime by Face Studio. I love this primer. I just started using it like a few days ago. It's like a 2-in-1 moisturizer and primer at the same time. I kind of place it. Okay, that's embarrassing. I kind of place it in these areas, okay, and yeah, really getting that in all the creases, all the inches of my face, for real, because you want to make sure that everywhere is primed, okay? And next, I also use the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. This one has 4% niacinamide, whichever one you get is fine, because I know they have the same one in like a green bluish bottle or whatever, but it just doesn't have niacinamide. I just started using this one too, because I used to be using the greenish, turquoise-ish, whatever looking one for the longest of time, and I was like, you know what, might as well use a primer that has skincare in it. And instead of rubbing it like the other one, you just want to kind of dab it in, since it's more of like a thick primer, because this one is more of like a creamy base. So you just want to make sure that you're dabbing it into the skin. You really don't need both. If there's one primer that you really should just get, is this one. You don't need both. But I like to use both just for like extra moisture underneath my makeup, and I feel like it just makes my base look better. And after priming, you kind of want to let the primer sit on your face before putting any makeup on, or also just kind of rub into your makeup. So what I like to do is just move on to my brows as I wait for it to kind of like sit. For my brows, since I already do have brows, I don't draw them because I don't know how to draw brows. If you guys want a tutorial on like how to draw brows or whatever, I'm pretty sure there's like a whole bunch on TikTok, Instagram, and on YouTube, so you guys can do that. But what I use is, I use a spoolie or whatever this is called. I actually get this at Sephora, because, you know, like, to test products, they have like a bunch of these. Guys, it's free. Just grab a handful and like you're good. You really don't need to buy a whole one like on Amazon when you can get it for free at Sephora. But I just kind of dip my brush in there, and then I just fluff my brows up. I know some people like to use like hair gel or anything like that. You can do that, but I like using Vaseline, because it just makes it more easier to just like move it around, in case, like, I don't know, like, let's say I'm not really messing with the shape, and it's like, I don't know, one brow looks different than the other, then the Vaseline makes it easier to change it. When if you use hair gel or something, it's gonna be kind of harder to change, you know what I mean? So yeah, if anything, if you want to make sure your brows are secure, do it with Vaseline and then put hair gel right on top of it. And it should just seal it. Sometimes I do that if I do like a full beat of makeup, then I like to do that to make sure my brows are secure and don't move at all. Most of the time my brows look like sisters or even second cousins. It's really rare for it to look like twins. So if it doesn't look like twins in this tutorial, shh, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Please, please. Okay? Anyways, moving on now to the real base, the foundation base. The foundation that I use is the Maybelline Fit Me. I absolutely love this foundation. I've been using this since like, I don't know, that's like 2-3 years now, like since I started doing makeup. I love it, and it's like the coverage is buildable, so if you're someone who doesn't really want that much like coverage, this is buildable. The more you put on, the more you're gonna have coverage. The less you put on, the less you're gonna have coverage. I kind of like a middle, like a little bit of both, you know. So since mine doesn't really have an applicator, I think certain countries have the foundation with applicator, but I don't know, we don't have it in Canada. So I'm just gonna shake it a little bit and put it on the back of my hand. And then you want to grab a beauty blender. Let's not talk about the fact that it's dirty, but anyways, you want to dip it in there and then just kind of like spot at it like this. You do little spots of it, just like that, to make sure that you kind of have like more of a controlled like way of putting it on, rather than like, I don't know, letting it drip on your face and then hoping for the best. But I just like to do that just to have more control on where I'm putting my foundation and how much I'm also putting. I think that's enough, so I'm just gonna take the rest from the back of my hand and just like scoop it up with the bottle like that. And then I grab that same beauty blender and just blend it. To blend, you just kind of do a dab motion just like this, and yeah, pretty much blend until your whole face is covered in it. As you guys can see, it looks a little deep or orangey on me. That's fine, because like with my concealer look, like it makes sense afterwards. So if you want, when it comes to foundation, even if the like skin tone or even if the shade is more like deeper than you, there's ways to make it work, you know what I mean? Like I make it work with my concealers, which I will show you guys how I do that, but that's just how, like, I don't know. And also this is my summer shade and we're in the middle of winter, so I didn't feel like buying a new shade. But yeah, I know a lot of people usually have to mix 2 foundations to get their perfect shade, especially like if you're buying drugstore makeup rather than high-end, which can be frustrating at times to find your shade, but it's whatever. So after that is all blended, I like to go in with blush. I use the e.l.f. Camo liquid blush in the shade Coming in Hot Pink. I absolutely love this blush. e.l.f. did their big one when they came out with this, because if you guys are aware or know the brand Rare Beauty, they have a whole, like, I swear e.l.f. copied every single shade and just put an $8 price on it. Like, what? Anyways, I put about 2 dots. This is a very high pigmented blush. Like, I love the fact that it's so flippin' black girl friendly. Like, the amount of times I had to like throw away my blushes or return my blushes because they just had like a white cast underneath because it just wasn't made for my deeper skin tone, this does me right. And I keep getting compliments on my blush. Like, I remember I was waiting at a bus stop and someone's like, oh my gosh, like, what blush are you using? It is so pretty. I'm like, it's the e.l.f. Camo blush. I used to be a hardcore powder, but now I like the liquid blushes more. But anyways, I like to put it first before concealer. You guys will see why. And for concealer, I use the Nars concealer in Amand Deep 3. You guys don't need this one. Like, I really just bought this like 2-3 months ago, so I just incorporated it into my makeup routine. If anything, the L'Oreal Infallible is also really good for concealer. I use both now, but pretty much. So for placement, I just put it here and then up here. If I'm looking here, it's because I'm looking at my mirror. Here and here, and then right here, well, like that and like that. Okay, the key to having good coverage with your concealer is to let it sit a little bit. So in this time, I don't know, I'm on my phone or I'm doing my brows, but I already did them, or I'm doing my lashes. It really depends on the day. But yeah, you just want to let it sit for about a minute or two before going ahead and blending it out. Okay, so now that I let it sit for a bit, I'm gonna go ahead with my setting spray. This is the Revolution makeup setting spray. It's kind of like coming off, but I just kind of shake the bottle a bit and then spray. It just makes the blending process a lot more easier and more seamless. But to blend, I have a brush that looks like this. I think I got this off of Shein like 2 years ago. And then I'm just gonna blend like so. So make sure you're focusing under the eyes. You can look up, it really doesn't matter, I feel like, but pretty much, yeah. And then after you kind of like got under the eye, you can drag it down a bit like that. And then, yeah, and then same thing on the other side. Focus really getting underneath there, under those creases, those dark circles. Get in there. The reason why I blend with a brush, because I feel like it, like, I don't know, the blending's so much better, because if I use a beauty blender, it sucks up all the product, rather than a brush. Yeah, it still takes product, but it like takes minimal product. So instead of taking a whole bunch, it's taking a little bit, which also helps you save on product as well. And then for this part for blending, I just kind of connect it with where I drag down the sides, like so. Take your time with blending. Never ever rush when it comes to blending, because babes, it will show. It will show. I'm sorry, like, you might not see it in the mirror, but like once you step outside, that blending that you didn't properly do will very much be noticeable, and you'll regret the fact that you rushed it. This makeup usually takes me about 10 to 15 minutes to do. 15 minutes if I take my time, 10 minutes if I'm just like, I don't know, I'm not listening to music, just doing full-on makeup. But yeah, it usually takes me about 10 minutes. So after you blended, it should look like something like this. And then I'm gonna go ahead with my second concealer, which is the one I showed you guys earlier, the L'Oreal concealer, in the shade 415 Honey. This one's a very like thick concealer, so be gentle. Like, look how thick that is already. Like, anyways, I just kind of wipe off the excess like that, and just kind of go like this, just under the eyes, because I already have enough concealer everywhere else. And again, let that sit for about a minute or two. Okay, so after letting it sit, again, I'm just gonna grab my setting spray and the brush that I used to blend, and just kind of like spray that on there, and then go ahead and blend. The reason I like to kind of blend in like an upwards motion once I get here, it'll give you like a lifted look, and who doesn't want a lifted look? If you ever get to a point where it looks like this, just keep blending until you get to the top. Like, that's fine. Like, it'll even give you more of a snatched look, and just make sure you mimic that to the other side, just like that. And then just put the residue of like whatever's on your brush wherever else you put the concealer the first time. Looks like something like this. And then it's time for powders, my favorite part. I use 2 powders, but first off, going with my Huda Beauty. This is in Kunafa. It's a baby bake loose baking and setting powder. The way this just like sets your concealer, because you can't walk out with the concealer looking like this. The way this is gonna set your concealer, oh my gosh. Yeah, this is, I think, the most expensive thing I have in my makeup bag. It's like over $30 for the small size. So it's not necessarily needed, because I also use the Morphe which is also from Sephora, but it's like, I think the smaller size is like 12 bucks or something. But since it has this, I don't know, this is a really weird applicator. Like, I don't understand these packages with applicators that don't work properly. Use the back of your hand and kind of put the powder like that and put more. And what you're gonna do is grab a powder puff and then just kind of jab that in there. Don't mind the fact that my arm looks ashy. I just got out the shower, okay? But yeah, I just kind of wipe off the excess like I just did on my knuckles, and then just place that underneath. So exact same placement that you put your concealer. Feel free to add more, but yeah, look at that difference. Do you see that? Do you see the difference? I feel like the camera doesn't do it any justice, but there's a difference there. You see? And then do that on the other side as well. Look at that. And then right here and right here. And then what you want to do is you want to grab a dense brush that looks like this, nice and fluffy, and just kind of wipe off the extra powders that you might have on your face, because sometimes it might just be a little too much. So you can just go ahead and wipe off the excess. Okay, so when it looks like something like this, I actually go ahead with a little bit more blush, just because all that powder and whatever kind of, you know, reduced the visibility of my blush. So I'm just going to go ahead with one more full dot, because I like my cheeks to be nice and pink, you know what I mean? And then you can just go ahead and blend that just like so. So just do up and down motions. For placement, I don't think I mentioned it before, but for placement for blush, I like to kind of like place it where I feel my cheekbone. Like as I'm doing this, I feel my cheekbone. So that's just how I like to place it. And you can smile to see where, you know, the little cheek fat comes up, and then just blend in that and like upwards as well, to also give you that lifted look, you know what I mean? And then I like to go on my nose a little bit to give me a nice little flushed appearance like that. Okay, so then I go ahead with my Morphe translucent powder, and I just grab it, use that same powder puff as before, and just kind of rub off the excess and go underneath like that, and just kind of blend that in there. And just also put it everywhere else. I put the concealer to truly like set that into my skin, into my face. It will just give a nice little finish at the end. So after that, I'm gonna go ahead. Usually I do my lashes. I am on a bit of a lash break, I can't even lie to you guys. But for lashes, I typically use the Magnetic SL 3D eyelash kit, because I do clusters. I get this off Amazon. Link will obviously be in the description. But I am on a lash break, so I'm not necessarily putting on lashes in this tutorial, unfortunately. Lashes aren't necessarily like a mandatory thing. Like, I didn't start wearing lashes till I think 2024, like last year. So like it's just like a step-by-step type of thing when it comes to makeup, at least for me. But I am gonna use mascara. I use the Essence Lash Princess, and I pair it with the, I forgot what this is called. I think it's the LA Pro Girl, because like all the writing's gone, but I'll find it and put it in the description for you guys. I kind of still have glue from like when I took off my lashes, so lashes are a little dry. And I already put on mascara earlier today, so it's whatever. Lashes might kind of be non-existent for this tutorial, but that's fine, I guess. But pretty much, yeah, I love this mascara. It's like $5 at Shoppers Drug Mart, so like it's super Easy. It's super affordable and it just does a great job. I have it with the pink one, which does curl and volume, and I absolutely love it. With mascara, I noticed that the longer I take more time doing it, the more like the nicer it'll look. Like, I don't know, like I feel like I always glazed over mascara, took, I don't know, the fastest time doing it just for it to like not really be noticeable. I'm like, ugh, mascara doesn't work. When you take your time with mascara, babes, it's going to work. I also have a lash curler somewhere, but lash curler is also a great tool to use, especially if you have lashes that like, you know, grow straight down. And then I go ahead with this one. I like how this one's built more, if you notice it, because I can go under my lashes super easily. Do you guys see that difference already? Look at that difference. Like, it just does the best job for my lower lashes, I feel like. Like, I just love it. I used to be scared to do my lower lashes because I'm like, ugh, I don't want to look emo. But like, once the look is done, you don't look emo anymore, unless you like smudge it or something. But anyways, be gentle, be slow, don't poke your eye. I've done that and I ruined the makeup because my eye started crying. It was not a good day for me at all. That's just how I do my lower lash. Just like that. Look at that. Look at my eyes. Hello. And even when I do have lashes on, I still do my bottom lashes. There's something about doing your bottom lashes that I just absolutely love. And then I'm gonna go straight in with this palette here. It is the Beauty Exposed eyeshadow collection. I think I bought this at Ross when I went to Buffalo a few months back, and it has like a nice little mirror in there. And what I like to do is I use a brush that looks like this, like a nice little eyeshadow brush, and then dip it in like some sort of color that would look like highlighter. And for me, it's this one. It's like a gold undertone because of my skin as well. It's so much better if I use a gold undertone rather than a white undertone for my highlight. I don't have a highlighter. You could go ahead and buy one. I'm just too lazy because I got highlighter in this eyeshadow palette. It's not a highlighter, but it works like it. So think smarter, guys. Anyways, I just grab it and I just like put it on my nose like this, or like a nice little straight line. Do you see that? Wow. Wow, I don't even need a whole highlighter. We could just use eyeshadow. One day I will buy highlighter. One day. But not today. It's step by step, baby steps, okay? And then I'm gonna go ahead and also kind of put them in my inner corners. To do this, I like squint my eyes. Let me show you guys. I squint my eyes. I just kind of like, I look stupid, but that's what I do because I don't know how other people would be doing it, but that's just how I do it. And just really get in there. Like that. And obviously when I'm walking out like this, we look crazy. Insane. But I grab a fluffier eyeshadow brush that looks like this, if it wants to focus. There we go. And just kind of blend it. Not kinda. I blend it straight up. Because you don't look like you're doing too much, because if you just walk out like this, you'll look weird. And I just kind of like blend the inner corner as well. I think I put too much on that side. Whoops, daisy. It's whatever. But just blend it real good. Okay, so after you're done blending your highlighter or whatever, I go ahead and do my lips. For lips, I use like 2 or 3. I use 3 lip liners. Don't ask why. First off, going with the NK Makeup in the shade Coffee. The reason why I use another one with this one is because I feel like it's the perfect darkness for my lower lip, but because my upper lip is darker, it doesn't do that same effect that it does for my lower lip. You know what I mean? Like, look at this. Like, you could see it, but it's not as noticeable, you know what I mean? Like, I used to just stick to this, but like ever since I like did more, it's just been better. It's been a better look. Anyway, second one, I used the Fenty. I bought this 3 days ago or 4 days ago. It's the Fenty Beauty Traced Out Lip Liner in the shade Browned Out. Again, everything will be in the description. And look how much darker that is. Like, wow. Do you see that? So when I put it on my upper lip, it's a lot more noticeable. Like, you can tell. Yep. And I'm kind of extra because I like a little darker-ish lip. So I use, this is actually a brow pencil, but I use the CoverGirl Easy Breezy Fill Plus Define Pencil. It's for brows. Yeah. Just put that under. It's like it's in the color black, cause I like my lip liner to be a little darker. And then I go ahead with the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade, or in the color Tiramisu. And I go just like that. In between, so where I did not put any lip liner. And then I go with my lip gel. This is the NK Makeup Lip Gel. And I put that on there. To avoid like when I talk, like for that to happen, I grab, what are these called again? Cotton swabs. There we go. And to go like that in between. Look at that product. Ew, that would have gotten on your teeth, guys. So I just do that and then boom. And to finish it off, I use my setting spray, the Revolution, same one I've been using. There. Let that sit. Look how cute this looks, and it even looks better with lashes on. But again, I'm taking a nice little lash break for a few weeks, a few months, until I don't know, I'll go on a trip or something and I put some more lashes on. But this is the look. I've been getting so many compliments on this makeup look. I feel like it took me a long time to get to a makeup look that suits my features and that suits me. So there's certain adjustments that you guys need to do because of, I don't know, like let's say your nose looks different than mine, or your lips are smaller than mine. This is not, feel free to do that. This is just what works for me and my face. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, love ya.